Today on an all-new Dr. Phil. Their kids were taken away.
Your stepson said you kept baby sister in a closet.
These kids weren't abused. They weren't neglected.
You were never beaten every day.
Those are lies.
Now,
They need their mother.
They don't. They need someone that cares about them.
but these parents
You have a volatile history that they have determined is unsafe for these children.
get their children back
What matters is the impact on the kids. Is that you've been, I'll stop talking when I'm ready. You don't run this show.
without turning on each other.
You did emotionally abuse him. Well, you apologize for how you treated him. You abused him. You abused him. And I want you to apologize to my kids.
You can't blame this all on him because you were there. You're at fault too.
Let's do it. This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by, Dr. Phil.
I try to be an emotional compass and point you in the right direction.
In 5, 4.
I am not giving up on you.
Go, Dr. Phil.
How are you? Thank you very much. You know, just 9 months ago, I sat right here with two very memorable guests, Minny and her 17-year-old son, Andrew. Now, Andrew was so fed up with his mom and stepfather's parenting that he says he went to the extreme to escape.
Life was really good until I turned 7. That's when my mom married Lon. Lon physically and mentally abused me every day. My mom knew everything. She would be in the room while my dad was beating me, and she never did anything to stop it.
Lon, let me ask you something. Is that true?
This child's never been abused, Dr. Phil. Your story just doesn't hold water, son.
Are you telling the truth here?
Words can't describe how bad it actually was.
On November 9th, 2012, my son tried to kill himself by shooting himself point blank in the chest.
Why did you shoot yourself?
I did it because of you and the house I was in. I did it to escape your household.
I chose you were a nutcase, Andrew.
Lon, don't refer to him as a nutcase. That's not right.
He's called me that my whole life.
Well, Andrew thought his only way out was a gun. He ended up in the hospital, and that's when the story took another turn. Minny then accused Andrew's biological father, David, of abducting Andrew from the hospital. Take a look at what happened.
David devised a plan to take Andrew from the hospital without my permission. I believe there was a conspiracy to have my son kidnapped.
I did not kidnap my son, Andrew. Lon and Minnie asked me to take him for him to live with us. The plan was he was going to come live with me.
I tried to report your child abduction
There
kidnapping.
was no abduction. I told you point blank, I don't want to go back to the abuse in your house. My life now is very different. I have a girlfriend, I have a car, I graduated high school, I have a full-time job. These are all things my mom wouldn't let me do.
If you have history here with these folks that has been painful to you, I hope you find it in your heart to forgive that. And if you can do that, I mean, it sets you free. If you need something, I'm a dial away, and we'll go from there. How's that?
I appreciate that very much.
In my 13 years and over 10,000 guests on this stage, Andrew is one of the only guests that Robin and I ever walked off with from this stage. He really made an impression with our viewers as well. The message boards lit up with comments about how brave he was and how most viewers believed his story. Well, in fact, so did the Department of Human Services. After the show, Lon and Minnie's younger 3 children were taken away and put in foster care. A few months later, Andrew testified against his mother and stepfather and became DHS's star witness. Here is what he had told us about sibling life in the home when he was on the show.
I have 2 brothers and I have a little sister. My mother would lock my little sister in the closet when she cried. They called her the closet baby. My mother used to slap her so hard that I'd leave welts, pinch her until they broke skin. There was always bruises on her, always. My little brother is 7 and has never gone to school. He can't read or write, and he has a speech impediment. I know the abuse is still continuing now that I'm gone. I fear for the children's well-being. My mom and Lon are very abusive people. Lon physically and mentally abused me every day of my life for 10 years. He beat me with his fist, spatulas. One time, he took the barbecue spoon he was using and hit me in the face with it. I actually have a scar right here. I remember one time I didn't get my room clean. He made me live in a tent for 4 months. Lon would give me alcohol and marijuana in exchange for working. He told me I was his slave, and he owned me. My mom knew everything. She never did anything to stop it.
For the past 8 months, since the children have been in foster care, Lon and Minny have only had short supervised visits with their children. Take a look.
After the Dr. Phil show, I couldn't understand why Andrew went on national television and said that he was tortured, starved, and beaten every day for 10 years, because that never happened. He made it seem 90% worse than what it was.
I expected a visit from Child Protective Services. Andrew's allegations were so horrific that anybody in any position to protect children would have to investigate.
CPS came, interviewed the children, then the police came to take the children. That was the hardest day of my life. The court process started right away. Andrew testified. He said things that he didn't say on the Dr. Phil show. The state had 117 facts and findings as to why we shouldn't have our children.
It went from bad to being evil. Andrew's a sociopath.
I took all of his photos from childhood and burned them in the fireplace.
I don't see any way that there'll ever be a relationship with Andrew in our family. Even if he is sick and he's a psychopath, I don't believe that you can have a relationship with somebody that has caused so much pain.
Well, Minny and Lon say they want to get their children back and came to me for help. Now, Lon says DHS, well, he just says they're plotting against them.
There is one person not allowing these children to come home, and it is our caseworker. The CPS worker has continually put in writing that I have alcohol and marijuana abuse problems. However, after 8 weeks of testing, their experts have decided that I didn't have a drug and alcohol problem. Other examples are that I'm violent. I've had no history of being violent.
At the time the children were taken, my sobriety was an issue. That, again, was blown out of proportion. Being told that, I was this unfit mother, I drove my son to shoot himself. I mean, that's the ultimate. You're so horrible, your son shoots himself. I have some issues. I drink a little bit too much wine at night, but that's not horrible parenting. Over the last 3 months, I have been in alcohol treatment. I've been completely sober.
I would like to think that we're working on becoming better parents, both of us.
I've grown, I'm older, I'm wiser. This is my chance to start fresh.
Okay, I have a lot to say, so I want to jump right into this. Minny, you have a question. You want to know what more can we do to prove to DHS we should have our kids back?
Yes.
Right? And Lon wants to know, am I a fit parent? That's your question.
I have a lot of questions, Dr. Phil, but that's certainly one of them.
Well, that's a big one, right?
Yes, sir.
I know how to get your children back. I know exactly what you need to do, know exactly how you need to do it. So if you truly want your children back, I can tell you what you need to do that. The question is, will you do it or not?
They had a reason to come and do an investigation, Dr. Phil, and you're well aware of why. We had a tragic incident happen with another child, and we truly understand why they had to do their job.
Okay, and the tragic incident you're talking about is Andrew shooting himself in the chest, by his report saying that he was doing that to escape the horrible abuse that you were heaping on him and neglect that you were heaping on him and allowing you to do that.
Yes, sir.
Have you said since then that you wish he had had a bigger gun?
No, sir. I wouldn't say that.
Yes, you did. You say it all the time.
Are we going to have a candid conversation here? Because I just asked you straight up. I said, did you say you wish he had had a bigger gun? You said, no, I didn't say that. She said, yes, you did. You said, well, okay. I said,
and I don't remember some of the things I've told Minny when I've been angry and frustrated. I don't. I mean, I'm sure I've said some horrible things in the privacy of our home, and I don't recall everything I've said to her.
Were you inadequate parents for these children that you're wanting back?
I don't know if the word inadequate's right, but we were dysfunctional.
According to Andrew, this is what he testified in court. He said you kept baby sister in a closet for a year, that you didn't potty train the 8-year-old brother, that you slapped his sister and left welts.
All three of those are lies.
That you have attempted suicide many times.
Okay, that's in the history of, yes, Andrew's childhood that has occurred years ago. Yes.
That you drank excessively.
Yes.
That you smoked pot excessively.
Describe excessively. I mean, I smoke to go to sleep at night. I have a medical permit. She never slapped him. She never slapped the baby. The 8-year-old was potty trained, Dr. Phil. The only problem that we had was the girl had some toilet issues.
Okay, so other than Andrew shooting himself in the chest, as far as the other 3 children, you see no reason for them to have been taken at all?
No, I don't. These kids weren't abused. They weren't neglected.
All right, well, Minny and Lon say that they are separated and headed for divorce. But is that true? There's something very important that Minny wants to reveal when we come back. You start sending a flurry of tweets to Robin and me.
I don't remember that, Dr. Phil, honestly.
Okay, well, you sent about 20.
He won't stop talking.
I'll stop talking when I'm ready to stop talking.
Okay.
You don't run this show. And later...
I want you to apologize to my son! I want you to apologize to him!
You can't look me in the eyes, can you?
Really?
You're nothing but a coward.
Really?
Yes.
This week's message to my haters is about letting go. I'm obsessed with the truth. Yeah, I must find it. It must be exposed. Well, you know what? I'm over it. Until next time. See you soon.
Well, that's Minny on her YouTube video where she posts many messages to her haters, as she calls them. Minny and Lon were on the show 9 months ago when their 17-year-old son, Andrew, took the family handgun and tragically tried to kill himself. Now, Andrew said shooting himself was his only way to escape Minny and Lon. He accused his parents of physically and mentally abusing him and his 3 younger siblings.
Excuse me, Dr. Phil, but I don't recall him saying we abused the siblings.
He said you locked his sister in the closet for a year.
Well, I'm sorry.
Would that count?
No, I'm sorry. I forgot about that accusation. I thought, besides that, yes. No, he did say that.
That would qualify. Are you taking this seriously? You said you were taking it seriously when you were here before, were you?
I don't think that I understood enough about the family dynamics to take anything seriously at that time. I was in shock because my son was blowing up things out of proportion in front of me, in front of my eyes.
Because it seemed very serious to me, and then that night you start sending a flurry of tweets to Robin and me. I wrote some of them down. Okay, honestly, at Dr. Phil, the camera did add on like 20 pounds. No. Like, really, that is not a myth. Oh, well, I'll live. You sent that tweet that night. We're talking about your son trying to take his life.
I don't remember that, Dr. Phil, honestly.
Okay, you then sent, well, you sent about 20.
Oh, no.
The next one, sometimes I'm too honest. I'm like I was drunk. I'm not trying to hide my pain. I'm like a true writer. I can share too much, but I am real. Okay, wait. You know what? I could have mentally blanked out. I could have cursed the out of DW like off camera. Ugh. Oh my God, wait a freaking minute. Just wait a freaking minute. I went on national TV today, and though highly upset, I did not say one curse word. Then the next one, I met at Dr. Phil today in person. That was freaking awesome. And I didn't get a chance to be enamored because of the topic. Damn it. Ugh. Love you.
Okay. I remember that one. I remember that one.
I get like 20 of these. Yeah. Robin and I are sitting there at night and our tweeter, bloop, bloop, boop, 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 boop. Are you drunk tweeting?
I'm pretty sure I was. Still, that was the time where I was still drinking.
Now, you say that you've been sober since June 30th, which is good. I mean, I'll give you that.
Right.
That's your date that you gave us,
right,
June 30. So that's
hold on.
July, August, September.
You won't stop talking.
I'll stop talking when I'm ready to stop talking. Okay. You don't run this show.
I'm sorry. I just want to put a word in when you're done. That's all.
You got something to say? Spit it out.
I do, because, and I'm thinking about the trial. I'm feeling like that all over again. It was all about me and my Twitter, and that's stupid. That is so stupid. What I tweet on Twitter is dumb. And this is about Andrew and this marriage and this relationship and the dysfunction. This is not about Twitter.
Really? Well, maybe it's about YouTube then. Take a look at this very public YouTube video that you posted just 3 weeks ago. This goes on for minutes and minutes here.
I made that video for my husband.
This was on YouTube. This wasn't on LawnTube. No. This was on YouTube.
And Dr. Phil, this is a prime example. I was in Panama. I was in Panama.
There are no children in the video. CPS should be focused on children. Right now, I am a single person without children.
I can't control Minnie's
That's not it. I think they don't like Lon more than they don't like me.
They don't like me.
It's not true. They don't like Lon.
They don't like me.
He told the CPS worker that he wanted her unborn child taken away. They're really keeping the children away because of Lon.
So your caseworker's pregnant?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And so you said you think the caseworker's baby should be taken away.
No, I said I think she should charge herself with child endangerment because she accused me of, I didn't get to see my son, any of my kids for over 6 weeks because of things I said to Minnie in the bedroom. I had a John Wayne moment, said I wanted to go rescue my son. She talked to CPS.
He said he was going to kidnap our son at gunpoint. Is that a John Wayne moment?
Yes, it was. Obviously, I didn't do it.
Because I reported you, that's why I didn't do it.
We're at this point separated, and we filed for divorce. So I'm not controlling her. I'm not able to. I admit it.
And you've had restraining orders against him?
I did have one restraining order that I did remove.
Well, we have a summary of that. Minnie says Lon raped her and physically harmed her. Minnie says Lon wouldn't let her leave his car. When she got away, Lon followed her, harassed her, and made her get into the car.
That isn't true.
Then June 15th, Minnie says Lon threatened to murder DHS workers, kidnapped their son. Then he verbally abused her and told her to lie to DHS agents about what he had done. Minnie says Lon had loaded guns out while calling her names. Minnie says in the report that she wants Lon to be ordered not to be able to possess or purchase firearms. And Minnie says both marijuana and alcohol were involved during times of abuse. And then you drop the restraining order in July of 14.
If all that's true, and I'm so dangerous I can't see my kids or even talk to them on the phone, then why is a woman that's pregnant in the room with me alone and jeopardizing her unborn baby? If I'm such a nutcase, then she shouldn't have been.
That reasoning doesn't make sense why they are keeping our children, because he's not helping.
It only matters what the impact on the kids is. So whose fault is this? I'm going to tell you what I think when we come back.
Right now I'm pregnant and I have never had a history and will never drink while I'm pregnant or nursing ever.
What did you just say?
That I'm pregnant.
And later,
you should be more honest with people, because we did ask Dr. Phil whether this was going to be another circus with Andrew. Your staff assured me.
My staff didn't make that decision. I made that decision, and I am happy to excuse you from the circus.
My hope for going on the show this time is that I would like to apologize to Andrew. I'd like to tell him that I love him, that I did the best that I could. I did the best I could, and I love him, and I'm sorry.
I would never forgive Andrew now for what he's done. That's just unforgivable for me, that he would turn on his family. I don't see any way that there'll ever be a relationship with Andrew and our family.
Minnie says after the previous show, she was so upset with her son Andrew that she ripped up and burned every picture she could find of her son. Now she says she wants to have a relationship with him. Let me just stand in the shoes of DHS for a minute. They had an incredible number of factors. You said 117 that they were concerned about with regard to you and to Lon.
Right, but it was all basically about Andrew. It was sort of, they just took Andrew's testimony, his all of his statements, put it into 117 facts of, well, I want to say crap. And that's basically what the judge rubber stamped, was 117 allegations of yeah, stuff.
And were any of those valid?
God, no. No, not really. I don't believe so.
So
no.
they were 0 for 117.
I just, no. I mean, there was a truth in it. Andrew could have come and testified to a truth. It still, legally, I don't think that they have a reason to say your children are being abused. I think that the bigger picture was that, yes, there was some alcohol use, there was substance abuse, but it was not to the point where it was abusive.
They had said she failed to recognize consequences of substance abuse and hasn't engaged in treatment. You say, no, I'm in outpatient treatment. I don't drink anymore. The 7-year-old and the 8-year-old talk about drinking in their interviews. Substance abuse interferes with safety. Been diagnosed with bipolar. You say, well, I'm taking psychotropic medications now. Currently not receiving treatment other than self-administered alcohol consumption. You say, not true. Stabilized on psychotropics now. Don't drink anymore. Sobriety date 6/30/2014. Were you in Atlanta on September 4th?
September 4th, yes.
You met a girl down there in a bar.
I did.
And that girl, just total luck of the draw, random,
Right.
is friends with one of our staff members.
I know. I know. I thought
And
that was like
she called our staff member and says, I just met Minny, who's been on the show. I met her in a bar drinking.
She was drinking, Dr. Phil. I was not. I mean, I was drinking a virgin Mai Tai, but she was drinking the real deal.
I have Christy, our AP, on the phone because she's out of the building right now. So tell me what happened in Atlanta on September 4th.
Girl that I actually went to college with said that she saw Minny at a bar. I asked if Minny was drinking, and she said yes. And I said, are you 100% sure? And she said yes, that there was a deal on Mai Tai, and they were ordering Mai Tais together.
So there was no question in her mind that Minny was drinking?
She said, yes, I'm 100% sure.
Okay, thank you, Chris. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Now, were you drinking that night or not? Because you've actually told us that you're sober in that you're not getting drunk,
right,
but that you're actually, you can drink socially.
I do believe I can drink socially, Dr. Phil.
Are you drinking socially?
Currently, I'm not drinking socially. I'm talking about in the past. Before I met Juan, I drank socially. I didn't have a drinking problem. I am not doing that now. No.
Have you had a drink since June 30th?
No. I was drinking with her at the bar, but not the same thing she was drinking. I am sober, Dr. Phil, and right now I'm pregnant, and I have never had a history and will never drink while I'm pregnant or nursing ever.
What did you just say?
That I'm pregnant.
And who's the father?
Juan is.
But you've filed documents with DHS saying you're separated.
We are currently separated. We live in separate homes. We did spend some time together.
Apparently.
So, yeah. I can't even.
I want to ask you how this happened, but I know how it happened. What I'm saying is,
gone to the doctor.
Why did it happen? Why? Why would y'all want to do that at this point?
We all didn't want to do it, Dr. Phil. I'm 57 years old. I've got a 3-year-old. I've got a 27-year-old, 3 grandkids. It wasn't planned by me.
He thinks I planned this.
No, I don't think you planned it, Minnie.
I mean, I could have done a lot more to prevent it, so maybe I did, sort of. Yeah. I don't know, but
maybe you did, sort of.
It was maybe, sort of. I think so. I don't know anymore. I just know that.
Did you get pregnant on purpose?
I don't know. It happened. So now we got to deal with it.
Find out what happened when we sent our own crew for a surprise visit at Minnie's house.
So I'm here as the eyes and ears of Dr. Phil. Let's see and check your house out.
I didn't prepare.
They lock.
Don't look at that. I did not know you were coming.
We wanted to see what was going on in y'all's homes if we just knocked on the door. So I asked Dr. Charles Sophie, who's sitting right here. He is the medical director for the Department of Child and Family Services here in LA County, which is the largest in the country. Take a look at his visit to Minnie's home.
Minnie.
Dr. Sophie, hi.
So I'm here as the eyes and ears of Dr. Phil to see and check your house out.
I didn't prepare.
We didn't want you to prepare.
Okay.
That's the point. All these smoke detectors work.
Yes.
They lock. What is that?
This is like a little storage area.
This is your car?
Yes, it's just a mess, but yeah, I did not know you were coming. Don't look at that, that's a sock. Okay, this is the boys' room. That's clothing. I have not unpacked all of the clothing.
When you see this stuff, how do you feel?
Sad. And that's kind of why I haven't done much with the rooms and with the house, because it kind of feels like I don't know when they're gonna be here. Okay, bye-bye, thank you.
Listen, this is serious business stuff.
Right.
These are your children.
I know.
We've got to have a safe place, physically and emotionally.
Okay.
All right?
All right.
Okay, so if those children just showed up on your doorstep today, you would not be ready for them.
It's a little cluttered. I would be ready for them, though, Dr.
Well, no, you're not ready for them. Dr. Sophie, what did you think of the house as far as its readiness for children?
Not at all. I mean, nothing that was there that would pose a problem was taken care of. I mean, I get you love your kids, but I don't think you think about your kids. You're number one.
That's I loved you before, Dr. Sophie. But seriously, I'm going to do everything I need to do to prepare it.
What, you loved him before he told you something you didn't want to hear?
No, but he's saying it's all about me, and that is not true.
Minnie, is it about you to put a video up like that? That's what I'm talking about, not the house necessarily. You need to be an emotionally safe parent who makes good decisions for your children. That's not a good decision.
You also visited Lon's home.
I did.
And we weren't able to take video there out of respect for the owner of the property.
Right.
But we did take some pictures.
Yes.
You have guns in the house, and here we're looking at a gun safe.
Yes, sir.
And there is an appropriate gun safe in the home, correct?
Yeah, I think 3, right? That I saw.
Two.
Okay.
Two gun safes.
And a money safe in the closet upstairs.
Right.
Was the home clean?
Absolutely.
Was it organized?
Very organized.
All right, so everything was appropriate there in terms of the physical environment.
Yes, it was.
The problem that DHS has with you is that you're hostile towards them because in your view, they've been inappropriate with you.
Actually, it's only the worker that has been lying about us.
Here's what they perceive. They perceive that you have been hostile, that you insult the DHS workers' parenting, that you've accused DHS of abusing their power.
Yes, sir.
That
all true.
You threatened to be violent with another DHS worker.
I did not.
And there are rules about what you do during the visits with the children, correct?
Yes,
have you
sir.
followed those rules?
Yes, we have.
You've not given those children things that they weren't supposed to have.
Oh, you know what we gave them, Dr. Phil? We gave them business cards. And they decided that they didn't want to have the phone numbers on the card. Instead of scratching the numbers off the card, they took the cards away to throw them into a fit. There were no rules because we wouldn't ever suspect that they would have a phone in a foster home that the children would have access to. But let me tell you the other rule I broke, Dr. Phil. This is a great one. This wasn't even in writing. I missed a visit because I had to go on business to Atlanta, Georgia. I called up the center that he was in. It's a nonprofit. I asked if I could, as a businessman, donate pizza to the staff and all the kids there. They said certainly. They were thrilled to death. And they shut that down. They wouldn't let us do it anymore. And my worker said that was breaking a rule. That's really a rule that I broke that's affecting my ability to parent my children.
I think
those are the rules I broke.
I think they see it as manipulative.
Right.
And this business card you're talking about, give them, is there or is there not a rule that if you are going to provide something to the child, anything, that it has to be approved a week in advance?
It's a rule, yes.
And did you do that?
With the business cards?
Yes.
No, they were
So you
pictures.
didn't do that. There's a rule, and you didn't follow it. If you guys want your children back, you're going to have to acknowledge the things that have transpired before that were not okay, because you cannot change what you don't acknowledge. It's just that simple. If they don't see in you acknowledgement of what wasn't done properly, they are not going to start the sequence of moving these children in a direction of being back to you. You're going to have to show insight. You're going to have to show, I understand how what we did before created a problem for these children. You're going to have to show that. You're going to have to be calm. You're going to have to comply with the rules, whether you like them or whether you don't. And you're going to have to be 100% transparent. You have a volatile history that they have determined is unsafe for these children. So you can be pissed off. You can think they're abusing their power. Maybe they are. You can be right or you can be happy. If you want to be right, then fight the system and say goodbye to your children. If you want to be happy, then you're going to understand the steps that I just told you. You're going to do it, and you'll have your children back. Next, Lon calls him a sociopath and doesn't want anything to do with him. Well, that's too bad, because Andrew is back and has something important to say to Minny and Lon.
Andrew's not with us, Dr. Phil.
I invited him here. You want to be here while he's here?
We did ask Dr. Phil whether this was going to be another circus with Andrew. Your staff assured me.
My staff didn't make that decision. I made that decision, and I am happy to excuse you from the circus.
My mom is neglectful, hateful, crazy. She's threatened to kill my family and put my biological dad and stepmom in jail. I got a call from the state of Oregon that said they were taking my siblings and they wanted me to be the key witness in the trial. I testified about the physical abuse, the verbal abuse, the marijuana, the alcohol, that one of my siblings lived in the closet for a year, and they gave her the name Closet Baby. My mom would put her car seat in there and close the doors until she cried herself to sleep. The psychiatrist said that it was the worst case of neglect that he's ever seen. One sibling put a knife to my sister's belly and said he was going to cut her. He said he was going to kill people and eat their bodies. I'm afraid he's going to become the next Jeffrey Dahmer. Lon encouraged his inappropriate behavior and cussing because he thought it was macho and funny. Lon is abusive, neglectful, mean, not somebody that you want as a father. My siblings' life with their foster parents is very different. Every time I talk to them, they're doing something fun. I would love to ask Dr. Phil if he thinks my mom is suitable of being a parent and having a second chance at raising these kids, or if he thinks that they should stay where they're at.
Andrew's not with us, Dr. Phil. We're not here to talk about Andrew.
Well, you want a relationship with Andrew. I invited him to come here today so you could talk to him. He agreed to do that. So I'm going to ask him to come out. Do you want to be here while he's here, or do you not want to be here?
I'll be happy to be here. But you should be more honest with people, because we did ask Dr. Phil whether this was going to be another circus with Andrew. Your staff assured me that nobody else is going to be here.
My staff didn't make that decision. I made that decision. I own that decision. And I am happy to excuse you from the circus.
I don't know. I'd like to be here.
There's the runway. Take it and go. You don't have to be part of the circus.
I'd like to listen, Dr. Phil.
My staff told me that you didn't want him here, and I said, that's fine. You don't have to participate. So we're done. I'm now moving on and going to talk with her and her son. So, Andrew, come out and join us.
With all these lies.
I'm sorry?
My son, my 8-year-old, never, ever, ever put a knife to his sister's throat. This kid is a psychotic liar.
Andrew, how you doing?
Good.
Good to see you again.
It's good to see you again, too.
You said some things on the tape that are very serious allegations. That you think that your siblings are better off where they are than with these two, at least right now, correct?
Correct.
And do you think that your brother is a danger?
He is not anymore. When the foster parents first got him, he was dangerous, and that's why he went to the Safe Center to get help with his problems.
That's just speculation.
He was raised to be violent. They were put in karate classes, and he practiced karate on his sister.
Mm-hmm. So everybody in karate is violent? Is that what you're saying?
No, but he used his karate moves on my little sister.
No, what I came here to say was that I'm sorry. When I was here last time, I'm sorry. And you were right.
Mom?
And I'm sorry that happened to you, and I'm sorry that I wasn't a better mother, and I just want you to forgive me.
This isn't about me right now. It's about the children.
And I'm being a better mother for them.
Listen,
I am being you haven't been around.
If you want the best for those kids, you will leave them alone.
No, Andrew. They need their mother.
They don't.
Andrew.
They need someone that cares about them,
Andrew,
and they're with them
you
right now.
are putting, you're making this about
When
me.
they got the kids,
you're
they
thinking
couldn't
about
walk.
your childhood.
They weren't potty trained. They could hardly talk.
And they could talk.
No.
You said when DHS took your 7-year-old sister, she had day-old feces in her pants.
Yes.
No. Dr. Phil, that was an exaggeration.
That is not exaggeration.
She did not. That's how they found her when she was gone. They took her away from us. She was fine.
Can I interrupt?
Why did they get taken away?
Some of these things are
Why? If they were not in danger, why did they get taken away?
Because you're a liar.
That happens every day, Andrew. You said you're starved on national TV.
So they believe me. They just came and took him away just because I said it?
Yes.
Yes.
You really think
they rubber stamped everything
the whole
you said,
trial was
Andrew.
about what you said. That you were starved. You were never starved. And that you were beaten every day. You were never beaten every day.
You were starved, Andrew? You want to tell everybody you were
sit here and
starved?
talk to me.
Fine. You were. You did emotionally abuse him. Why don't you give him that? Why don't you apologize for how you treated him? I did it. Why don't you look at yourself?
Yep. I gave up,
You
Andrew.
did treat him wrong.
When you became a drunk pothead, I gave up.
You!
Okay.
You abused him,
Okay.
and I want you to apologize to my son! I want you to apologize to him! Do it! Apologize!
You can't look me in the eyes, can you?
Oh,
Can you tell me?
Andrew, I can look you in
abused
the
me.
eyes. I can look you in the eyes, Andrew. You are pitiful,
You're a
drunk,
coward.
sick
That's what you are.
Really?
You're nothing but a coward.
Really?
Yes.
You're a piece of work, Andrew. You're a piece of work. You're a psychopath.
When you say I wish you had a bigger gun, I wish you were dead, what kind of person does that? Who does that?
Listen.
Yes.
You can't act like you're the victim. You're at fault, too.
I didn't say
You
I
can't
was
blame
the
this
victim.
all on him because you were there.
Andrew, I know I was there.
It happened.
And I've apologized to you immensely, and I'm working on my issues with that.
You wanted to deliver the message to leave these children alone.
Yes.
Okay, you think they should not try to reunify?
They are perfectly fine where they're at.
Well, I think they are certainly where they need to be at this moment, as opposed to the alternatives. I support reunification at every turn. If you two are willing to do the things that need to be done, then I definitely support reunification here. Trust me, they want those children back with their parents. True, Dr. Sophie?
But you got to earn it. Walk the line and put your kids first, no matter what.
I told you what needs to happen here. You've got to acknowledge the fact that there were things going on that needed not to go on. You need to show insight that you understand the impact that has on the children. You need to calmly comply with all of the things that you are required to do. And you've got to go through this process. If you do, you will get your children back. If you don't, you won't. It's just that simple. You say, is there a way, is there some dots I can connect to get these children back? The answer is yes. Whether you like the caseworker or whether you don't, you do those things, those children will be returned to you. You can work this out.
If the kids get a second chance at living life, how come the parents get a second chance? They've already proven they couldn't provide the kids with that stability, that environment. Why do they get a second chance at screwing it up?
I can't answer that.
Why?
Because it's the environment of us being together, Andrew. We're not going to be together. We're providing separate environments.
That has nothing to do with it.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. And that I can see what went wrong with the environment that
You've had your chance. Let them live their life.
Andrew,
Leave them alone.
Andrew, I know that this is coming from anger, but children need to be with their parents if they're willing and able to care for them.
They don't when they're as messed up.
You're not in a position to say that we're willing and able to care for children right now.
We'll let them disagree about this.
Yeah.
We'll be right back. Closed captioning provided by Do you truly want your children back?
Yes, Dr. Phil.
I mean, and are you willing to do what it takes to do that?
Yes, I am.
Because, as I say, if you do, then you can get them back. Do you want your children back?
Yes, absolutely.
Then you've got to be willing to do what I'm telling you to do. You said they haven't given you a roadmap. I'm giving you the roadmap. I'm telling you exactly what they want to see. Am I right about that, Dr. Sophie?
Absolutely right. Absolutely. It's simple. It's really that simple. As simple as he's telling you, just do it.
We've got to stop for now. You can get these children back if you want. I want to thank Lon Minny. Andrew, thank you for coming back, and you've weighed in and spoken on behalf of your children, your siblings, so you've given us your opinion. Dr. Sophie, I want to thank you for being here today. For more information about today's show, log on to drphil.com. We'll see you next time. Thank you. Get this kid's back if you do what you got to do.